Hello, wonderful person. Wish you a very good health. Well, a majority of the historical sites and palaces in the world are said to be haunted in some or the other way, and Rajasthan city in India, famous for the Thar desert, is no exception to this. Scary stories, horrifying experiences, and places frequented by ghosts are the contradistinction when compared with the soft and calm side of Rajasthan. Traditional beliefs, folklores, have been passed from generations which support the logical presence of some evil forces and phantasm. Rajasthan is one of the spooky states of India where some special circumstances restricts tourists and even locals to stay away from selected spots. Local residents, after some unexpected encounters with ghosts, had come up with different statements or stories which conspicuously stated no entry after sunset. There are such mysterious places at Rajasthan where you can head with your friends and peers only during a shining natural daylight. And after sunset, these places become so scary that it can lead to uncontrollable palpitating heartbeats, twitching nerves, and trembling body with infinite fear and jittering. Welcome to Mystery TV 9. Bhangarh Fort might be the most famous of all the haunted places in Rajasthan, but it is not the only one. While its lofty forts and palaces look hauntingly beautiful, Rajasthan also has the ghost town of Caldera, Sutta Bay, famous for exorcism, and the very marvelous Chand Paori that is believed to house a spirit. The many shadows that leap out of the ancient lanes of Rajasthan would never feel the same after a visit to these horror tales. So let's start the journey. The Bhangarh Fort story that surrounds Bhangarh, famously hailed as the most haunted place in India. Visitors are not allowed in this ghost town before sunrise or after sunset as per the orders of the Archaeological Survey of India. They have even put up boards at several spots in Bhangarh to warn people against staying in the premises after sunset and before the sun rises. When the government tells you to stay away from certain places, then there is something that's not normal. It was built on a hillside by King Madho Singh, but was soon deserted. One of the most famous stories about the fall of Bhangarh is that of a wizard who fell in love with Princess Ratnavati, but the princess spurned his advances and did not fall for his sorcery. Thus, while dying, he cursed the city, following which it was deserted in a day. Haunted or not, the ruins of a town, complete with royal palaces, market area, temples, and a dancer's palace, are enticing. Nobody resides near the palace now, making it all the more creepy. People have reported feeling an ominous presence and strange apparitions at the place after the sun sets. Paranormal investigators from all over the world have visited this place and through their scientific equipment have recorded the apparition of the occultist, sound of bangles, and a spirit crying for the help. Some reports say people who entered the ruins after sunset went missing. This is surely not a place for those with faint hearts. According to another legend, Bhangarh Fort has been cursed by a hermit named Gurunath. The spot where the fort has been built once served as the meditation spot of the sage, and when the king wanted to build a fort here, the sage requested the king that it should be built in such a way that the fort's shadow should not touch his place of meditation. The king persuaded him that the fort's shadow would not touch him at his place, but sadly it did not happen, and the curse of the hermit followed which led to the entire village being destroyed. It's very strange to witness that every house located in the area is roofless. It is believed that the sage, who cursed the town to its ultimate devastation, is responsible for it. Referring to this, locals stated that it is not possible to construct a roof on these houses, and even if one is built, it collapses. And such incidents have killed many people in the past. There are many eerie stories surrounding Bhangarh and its ill-fated visitors. Its history is full of misery and anguish, which locals believe has been translated into horrible accidents and misfortune. Locals also added that once 3 daredevils decided to stay in Bhangarh fort premises post-sundown and see if it was really haunted. However, despite being equipped with a torch, one of them fell into a steep well, but was then rescued by his friends and locals and was rushed to the hospital. But it seems like it was predestined. All 3 of them died in a road accident while they were on their way to hospital. Bhangarh might be the most famous of all the haunted places in Rajasthan, but it is not the only one, while its lofty forts and palaces look hauntingly beautiful. Rajasthan also has the ghost town of Kuldara. Kuldara is Rajasthan's claim to fame, after Bhangarh, for another entry to the list of India's most haunted places. Another ghost town, which is maintained by the Archaeological Survey of India and is completely deserted. According to a popularly held notion, the village is now inhabited by ghosts. Lying 10 miles west of Jaisalmer city, Kuldara has a story. Some 300 years ago, it used to be a prosperous village of Paliwal clan, under the state of Jaisalmer. According to the legend, the evil eyes of Salam Singh, the powerful and debauched head of the state, fell on the daughter of the village head, and he desired to marry her by force. He threatened the village with grave consequences if they did not adhere to his wish. Instead of submitting to the order of the tyrant, the Paliwals held a council and people of 85 villages. They left their ancestral homes and vanished. But this was not all. Before leaving, they put a curse on Kuldara village that no one will ever be able to settle in their village. Thereafter, to this date, the village remains barren, left almost the same as its inhabitants had left it centuries ago. It is also said that people who have tried to stay there at night have been chased away by strange paranormal phenomenon. A team of investigators reported paranormal activities, such as strange voices, whispers, mysterious shadows, sharp rise and drop in temperature, and handprints of people on their cars. There is no commercial activity around the area, which is located in the Thar desert. People are advised not to stay in Kuldara once the night falls. Kuldara is now a cluster of deserted streets, houses with no roofs, and broken walls, market lanes that look quite gloomy, and a handful of temples. Kuldara, as a ghost town, has a charm of its own and is often visited by tourists. The Sand State of India has few locations, which will provide you a scary experience, and at the same moment will arouse an interest to know about the ruins in detail. Goosebumps, cold creeps, and horripilation are some of the common reactions which appear on the body by knowing the stories behind these horrifying forts and buildings. And Chand Baori is one of such architecture. Chand Baori stepwell in the village of Bhangarh, Rajasthan, is a great piece of architecture. Chand Baori is said to be named after a local ruler of Nikam dynasty called Rajashanda. However, no epigraphic evidence has been found regarding the construction of this great architecture, Chand Baori, which makes it more mysterious. Nonetheless, its reputation as one of the most haunted places in Rajasthan attracts more eyeballs. Believed to be the world's deepest stepwell, Chan Baori, as the locals say, was built by ghosts in one night. A place so grand and huge, it has more than 3,500 steps, that it would take some years to build it. If you take one look at this epic structure, you would know that this would be an impossibility, and this legend accounts for this discrepancy by stating that the stepwell was actually built by ghosts. It seems the only plausible explanation for an overnight construction. Moreover, this amazing architecture left no trace or evidence about its maker, which is so mysterious. And as the legend says, the place is believed to be haunted by a spirit who would not let you climb up the same stairs that you used to get down in the stepwell. Numerous visitors to the stepwell have confessed experiencing the same. That something is making them confused forcefully if they try to follow the same steps. With the Chand Baori's beginnings being forged in the paranormal, it seems appropriate that one of these beings still lingers at the ancient ruin. While you might find a spirit lurking in the many shadows here, droves of bats, pigeons, and voices that echo loud are enough to make anyone jump out of their skin. One of the tourists wrote in the visitor's diary, "I had a strange experience while visiting the haunted Chan Baori stepwell. While taking photographs of the surrounding ruins, I noticed a dark shadow person lurking amongst them in the viewfinder of my camera. I made the assumption that this was my husband, calling out to him to get out of my shot. As I did this, the figure moved behind a pillar and my husband responded from behind me, nowhere close to being in my shot. I immediately moved over to the area where I saw this dark figure, yet there was no one in the area. To this day, I am not sure whether I saw something paranormal or was deceived by a trick of my own eyes." Interestingly, spirits are described in folklore as being dark shadow figures who typically like to lurk within ancient ruins. Chan Baori has even drawn Hollywood filmmakers to the location to film blockbusters such as The Dark Knight Rises. Every year, on a full moon night, the night sky is filled with horrifying screams in a village named Malajpur in Madhya Pradesh, adjacent to Rajasthan. This has been taking place since the past 300 years or so. Evil spirits who had found safe heaven inside human bodies are exorcised into the night air as part of a chilling spectacle. People run amok, seemingly unaware of what they are doing. A disproportionate number of women flail about wildly, hair scattered, eyes glassy, as their relatives clutch onto them. Some are chained to prevent them from running away. Some go into convulsions, caused by some unseen terror shrieking and rolling on the floor as they go into hysterics. Now priests of the temple in Malajpur start chanting as the temple bell tolls. It is time for the exorcism to begin. A line of people snakes up to where the ceremony is to take place. Apparently, a lot of people need saving from evil spirits. Priests pull the possessed by the hair, both men and women, and beat them viciously with brooms. According to them, this is an attempt to intimidate the spirit tormenting the person. The priests ask questions such as, "Who are you, and from where have you come?" At some point, the priest confirms that the person is indeed possessed and proceeds to beat the person until the demon leaves the body and the malevolent spirit hangs itself to one of the banyan trees around upside down, as the locals say. Some people say these people use more powerful evil spirits to drive away the less evil power spirits from the bodies. A legend explains this annual event. In the 18th century, a man named Dioji Maharaj visited Malachpur, where he showed off feats, such as turning soil into jaggery and rocks into coconut. Gradually, he started using his powers to cast away evil spirits. Thereafter, a temple was built, and some priests, who claimed to be his ancestors, took the tradition forward. Now, even after all these hundreds of years, priests and the villagers of Malachpur have succeeded in keeping this tradition alive. Call it superstition or mumbo-jumbo, but thousands of people flock to Malachpur till date, driven by their belief that the village holds power to rid them of evil spirits. Terrains of Rajasthan during daytime might be like a take-it-easy case, but the same situation doesn't persist after sunset. Many tourists who have tried to intrude these horrifying places by ignoring the specified instructions never been spotted again. These abandoned and cursed places are not tour-friendly during night. It's only the daytime for the paranormal tourists to explore these locations with safety. If you have decided to visit such creepy and spooky spots, then book your tickets and move to the mysterious forts and ruins of Rajasthan with your group, but not alone. Please like and subscribe the channel for upcoming videos.